something so small that it's invisible to the human eye. It doesn't eat, doesn't breathe, and as some describe it, it's not even alive. Yet it can dysregulate cities, overwhelm the healthcare system, and change history. What I'm talking about are viruses. What's really weird about viruses is that they don't qualify as living beings. They don't have metabolism, they don't produce energy, they can't reproduce on their own, and they do not interact in the world the way living organisms do. What they do is they act as freeloaders at a molecular level. They are completely dependent on a host and invade their cells to make copies of themselves. But what is a virus? When we look at the basics of this enigma, we can see something so shockingly simple. It consists of a genetic material, either a DNA or RNA, wrapped in a protective layer made of protein. Sometimes it has an extra layer of fat called a viral envelope, originated from the host cell it infected. And that's it. No brain, no organs, no metabolism. It's just a ruthless pack of instructions. A virus can slip into one cell, hijack its mechanics, and produce thousands of copies within hours. This can spread through an entire body, then from person to person, crossing borders and passing through nations, creating a pandemic and stopping the flow of our daily lives, from work, school, economics, and more. We experienced a global pandemic a few years ago from a virus called SARS-CoV-2, and just like that, we witnessed its power to disrupt the entire world. How can something so minuscule and simple hold so much destructive power? That is a question we are here to unpack.
Viruses have been known to infect all forms of life, including animals, plants, fungi, and even bacteria. Due to their small sizes and simple structure, viruses can mutate rapidly, sometimes invading immune response or developing resistance to treatments. They spread in many ways, such as through air, like when someone coughs or sneezes, and also through direct contact, like touching contaminated surface or infected individuals. Here are some common viral infections. First is influenza. Signs and symptoms include fever, cough, sore throat, muscle aches, and fatigue. Second is hepatitis B. Signs and symptoms can range from mild flu-like illness to severe liver damage. And symptoms may include jaundice, fatigue, abdominal pain, and dark urine. Third is human papillomavirus, or HPV. Most HPV infections have no symptoms at all, but some types can cause genital warts or cervical cancer. Um, se- the, here are some examples of emerging viral infections. First is COVID-19. Signs and symptoms include fever, cough, shortness of breath, fatigue, and loss of taste or smell. Second one is dengue. Signs and symptoms include high fever, headache, muscles or joint pain, and rashes. Third one is rabies. Early symptoms may be similar to the flu but progresses to include neurological symptoms such as confusion, agitation, and paralysis. Nurses and healthcare professionals are on the front lines protecting us from viruses. They are the ones who understand the nature of viruses and how they spread. It is vital in ensuring infection prevention and control. Nurses are often the first to interact with infected patients. That's why they are the ones who educate the patients first about diseases and implement special precautions like hand hygiene, um, proper use of PPE to stop the spread. Though there isn't always cure for all viruses and the treatment depends on the specific virus, but healthcare workers are crucial in helping our bodies fight back and recover, and also in controlling the spread of infectious diseases.
They are smaller than a speck of dust but strong enough to destroy systems. Viruses aren't human-like, they don't eat, breathe, or think. But once they get inside the body, they take over. They use our very cells to copy themselves, spreads, and sometimes wipe out. Throughout this talk, let's learn how they travel, what they do, and how we as future nurses can stand our ground with knowledge and compassion. Let's begin with this. How do viruses travel? Viruses don't have legs, wings, but they're great at moving from one person to another. First, they travel through the air. When someone with a virus sneezes, coughs, or even just talks, tiny droplets float around if you're nearby and breathe them in. Boom, the virus has a new home. Second, they move through touch. Imagine you sneeze onto your hand and touch doorknob. You touch the doorknob, rub your eyes, and boom, you just invited a virus in. Now let's talk about the viruses themselves. Let's consider one of the most common viral infections. One, hepatitis B, an infection of the liver with blood or body fluids. It produces pain in the stomach and dark-colored urine and becomes an illness for life. HIV doesn't show signs early but slowly weakens the immune systems. Without treatment, it leads to AIDS. Influenza comes clearly with fever, chills, body ache, and tiredness. Sounds common but can be serious. Now, some re-emerging viruses. 1. COVID-19, highly contagious respiratory virus. Symptoms are cough, fever, fatigue, and loss of taste or smell. Dengue, transmitted by mosquitoes, leads to high fever, intense headache, and body ache. In severe instances, it leads to bleeding. Through rabies, transmitted by animal bites. When symptoms appear, such as confusion or water phobia, it's nearly always deadly. So, what do nurses do? They teach people how to prevent infection, remind them to wash hands, encourage mask use, and, of course, encourage vaccination. They detect early warning symptoms, react promptly, and care, not with medicines but compassion. We fight not just the virus but also the fear that it inspires. Can viruses be cured? Some can be stopped from taking vaccines such as flu and hepatitis B. Others like HIV cannot yet be cured but can be treated using once-a-day medication. And then there are illnesses such as rabies. Timing is crucial. If you get it too late, the cure won't work. There isn't a single cure, but with knowledge, swift action, and science in our corner, there's always a way to move ahead.
This educational study about viruses is designed specifically for prospective nurses for smoothly marry scientific accuracy with an inspiring and empathetic message. Already in the opening, the introduction seizes upon the virus paradox, yet potentially wreaking havoc on a grand scale, establishing a reflective note that shows sensationalism and conveys urgency. Perhaps one of the key advantages of the material is its effectiveness in communicating how viruses are transmitted. The two main methods are airborne and direct contact, which are outlined with clarify and concision. The additional of carefully selected example from common viruses such as influenza, hepatitis B, and HPV to the new rising threats, COVID-19, dengue, and rabies, serves to bolster relevance. By correlating each virus with its usual symptoms, the information not only increases knowledge but also put emphasis on the life or death necessity of early discovery. It implies indirectly the unpredictable and dynamic nature of virus, supporting the importance of ongoing alertness in medicine.
Aside from that, a praiseworthy is the account of curability of viral diseases. The content finds a balance by respecting the fact that some viral diseases are preventable curable, yet others are not curable. This candid description eschews false hope, but stresses the life-saving influence of early intervention. The final message that through learning, early action, and science, betterment is ever available is both comforting and motivational. It is a salutary reminder of the nurse's power to influence results through knowledge and human care. Overall, this educational work achieves its dual purpose: to educate and to motivate. It combines scientific accuracy with a human-centered approach, making it an engaging and valuable tool for inspiring nurses. The content's logical structure, accessible language, and motivating conclusion contributes to its effectiveness. By emphasizing prevention, early intervention, and the reality of viral challenges, it not only educates but also instills confidence. Ultimately, it prepares future nurses to meet the evolving demands of infectious disease care with knowledge, competence, and empathy. Thank you for listening.